Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, Debbie Frank is here again monthly. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for your just so enthusiastic about our videos together every month. And I know a bunch of you have been asking, is Debbie back doing readings? And she is. She has opened her calendar again. Just make sure you let her know I sent you, that you saw us together. But she's just opened up her calendar. So guys, you've got to rush in and grab a reading from her. She is so fast, so fantastic, spectacular. I'm coming up to my reading for my birthday. This is July. And this is the perfect time to get a reading. Debbie, how do they get a reading from you?
Please get in touch with me either on Instagram or my website, debbiefrank.com, and I will get back to you. We'll book something up. I love your people, Colette.
I know, I have nice people. I know.
I know they're fantastic. So
I don't know what it is, but my people are so friendly and nice.
they are absolutely lovely. Love them.
And your readings are very accurate. I'll never forget that time when you nailed something for me that was so specific. I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh my God, that was so good. And then I literally became addicted. Well, I didn't become addicted. I only get a reading from you once a year, but it's so good. And she's so good, you guys. So please run to her website or her Instagram page. All right. So here's what we do. Now, I just want to remind everybody, we know that the world is mad. We understand there is madness everywhere. But what we do, Debbie and I, is we look for the thread of hope and potential that you can grab onto in these times of great turmoil. We're not interested in talking about the turmoil. Like, I am not a doom and gloom person. The magic is in the middle, but this is what we want to find some hope in this crap. So you're not going to hear us going on and on and on about doom and gloom. That's why we are looking for the most positive spin on what could be for your month, for the astrology and the oracle card, the astro oracle that we talk about each sign. So that's what we're focusing on. And Debbie is going to begin her magic now.
All right, starting now, I should pull a rabbit out of the hat, but instead, Uranus is here, making this major move for the first time in 84 years. So that really is quite spectacular. On the 7th of July, it's going to be dipping into the sign of Gemini, moving out of Taurus, where it's been for 7 years. And it's going to be here until early November. And then next year, it's going to be in Gemini full-time, full-on for 7 years itself. So I think that's really exciting. I mean, it's very kind of pacey. The pace of life is really going to pick up for everyone. You don't have to be a Gemini to feel it. And it's about ideas, connection, communication. So, where it's been in Taurus, which has been a bit difficult because Taurus is, wanting to keep stability at all costs. And Uranus has been coming in and sort of trying to wrest everyone free from their stuckness and their holding pattern. Now everything is freeing up. So I think Uranus and Gemini could be a lot of fun and, a lot of movement for everybody. I mean, what's not to like? It's great.
Don't you think too, Debbie, with Uranus and Gemini? Like, I get it. Like, Uranus is the planet of rapid change, ideas, etc., and Taurus is plodding and wanting security, etc. But I wonder too, because I'm already feeling this, and we're almost there with it. But there's a sense of freedom and relief. Right.
Yes,
there's a relief with it, right?
Oh, it's easy. Just let go into it, because holding on, this Taurus one takes so much energy to try and resist the change. So Uranus is just going to dive in, and you're going to be kind of going, wow, I let go. That's easy. I'm actually excited about something new. I mean, change is great.
Yep. And what else is going on this month in July?
So obviously we've got the full moon, and this one in Capricorn on the 10th. We've got a Leo season beginning, and we've got a Leo new moon, and there's a little bit of the glitch of Mercury retrograde. But you and I like Mercury retrograde, because we feel that it's quite a creative time. So, I mean, okay, if your washing machine breaks down, but, we need to fix all our stuff. But it's fantastic for sort of, projects and people to come back from the past to kind of get your great ideas going. So I think that's a really nice thing. So July the 17th to the 10th of August, Mercury in retrograde.
Perfect. Let me do a few cards on the Uranus transit, because I think
Yeah,
that's
good
impacting
idea.
all of
Yeah,
us, right?
great. Yeah.
So, so when we talk about hitting, July the 7th, and we know that what Uranus actually is very comfortable in Gemini, right? It's an air
Very.
sign,
I mean,
rules
right up that
Aquarius.
sponsor.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it gives us all of us an opportunity for regeneration. So what does regeneration mean? So if you look at the fire underneath and coming up, and then all of a sudden these new shoots of something that appears to have died, right? So that's the other thing, the appearance of of things falling apart or whatever, and
And
all of a sudden,
stagnation as well, where they kind of go, ugh, this, I mean, Gemini is very young sign. It's like,
yes,
sort
it
of
feels
childlike, playful. It's like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming out of this
Yeah.
muckety muck, and we don't even think about what was. This is forward thinking. This is all
Yeah.
about let's do it now. So
Mm.
there's a great, like a relief. It just feels like it's like that, because that when that storm happens and it's like, wow, after it
Yeah.
smells good, everything is good.
Yeah.
TikTok is the time card. So it's time. It's time for this. We feel it's time. We are so ready for this relief and release. We're like, yeah, oh my God, well, it couldn't have come sooner. So this sense of newness and a shift in the
Mm.
way we think and the exchange of ideas. But I got to tell everybody that no matter what's going on, we are blessed. There is a
Yeah.
blessing. So and we're talking about the collective overall arching feeling of what this is bringing us, and then it settles in as and I do think there's a relationship between it and the internet, like this new AI stuff, etc.
Yeah. 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 Very
Gemini,
digital.
yeah,
Very,
very
yeah.
digital,
It's
but
great.
very good for us because these are positive things. Okay, you're next. You want to go through the signs?
I'm going to start with Aries. How about that? We
Excellent.
could start with
Let's
Pisces
do
if you
it.
like, but let's start with Aries. So Uranus for you, my sweet Rams, is moving into your communication angle. So you're going to get these quick downloads. You might think you're not a channeler, but you know what? You are. And
Uh-huh.
you'll certainly recognize that with this Uranus, just the big ahas coming, projects, teachings. And I think busy in the community, we're looking at this sort of interaction, around your locality, wherever it is you happen to find yourself. So I love that for you. Now, the full moon in your 10th house on the 10th, lots of number 10, but this is about recognition, position, your status, completions and decisions about, who you want to be. And I think, that's perfect for the early part of the summer, 10th of July, because you might be finishing up something and going, okay, now summer's come, I can have a bit of a summer break. Yes, we're moving into Leo time for you. Yeah, it's a little bit intense around the new moon, but that's okay. Just chill, Aries. And I think with Mars powering through your 6th house in the sign of Virgo, this is all about the small things. Don't forget the small things that kind of make your lifestyle and your hours in the day feel better. It's like, just having more choice and choosing the things that kind of elevate you. So there's you, Aries.
Oh, I love it. So, Aries, remember we do the cards, we add something to the mix, right? So, the thinker card in this case is the brilliance, right? In this case for Aries, it is true. It's like you're going to get so many great ideas. Write them down, right? Like, write them down. They could come and go pretty quick. And peace is really important too for you. So, this is about like chilling out, like no, and not allowing any kind of the utter drama to throw you off track. And actually, I don't think you will. You're actually looking to contribute more than you're interested in anything that's coming apart. You're like, let's put something new in there. Let's not even worry about this piece. That's going to be really important. And you're right. And to be a little bit more granular, getting a little detailed, granular about what it is that you choose to do, because I think you're going to have a lot of options this month.
Yeah. Excellent, isn't it? Very good. So Taurus, well, it's interesting because Venus and Uranus are still going to be in your sign on July the 4th, Independence Day. They're doing this big whammy really in your own sign just before they both move into Gemini. So this is one of the last times in 84 years, and I was looking, is it the last time? But because Uranus is coming back to you, you will get another one of Venus and Uranus in April 2026, but let's not go there yet. We'll be back with that another time. But for now, the Venus Uranus, just have a think about, what you want to move into, because soon after July the 4th, Venus and Uranus will be in Gemini and in your second house. And this is where you start to shed what you don't think is of value to you. That might be some objects and possessions. The second house can be quite material like that, but it can also be where you're sort of being depleted because your skill set hasn't been valued by other people. So you're going to have freedom from what's held you back. So your self-worth can be reinvented. You can add new skills here, new sort of strings to your bow, as they used to say. So I love that. The Mercury retrograde, it's family for you. And don't you know it? They change their minds. They're coming, they're going. They're like, what about this? So yeah, you're just going to have to go with that. Be flexible. But there is also a kind of new beginning here, and that might be very nice, whether you're just moving your furniture around or there's some nice family news to be celebrated. It's fun.
I love that you said flexible, because the second card for the second half of the month, and I forgot to mention, guys, that second card I pick is for the second half of the month. So here's hilarious. So flexible is the second card.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
So by the book in the protection position represents not doing things the way you always did them. So it is really about, again, it's confirming and giving a more of an underlined energy around what you just said, because it's requiring Taurus to really get honest with themselves and say, you know what, I don't really want to do this anymore. I am going to take the risk and look at the thing that is, things are changing anyway. I may as well throw myself in the mix and try something different that I always wanted to, because this is about satisfaction, and Taurus loves to be satisfied, right? So
it better than Taurus, satisfaction. It's the opposite of Rolling Stones. They can get satisfaction.
Yeah. I love that Taurus is the yummy sign. So the interesting thing about that too is the concept of flexibility is about being very mindful of letting go the rigid idea of how things have been. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's kind of like, well, that's the way it was, but I'm going to step in here and I don't know yet how to do this. So being flexible allows you to change your mind, try new things, not being too fixed on them, and making sure that they are the thing you decide on. And definitely with family, the flexibility is take them as they are. Don't project on how you want them to be. Who cares? Like, just you be you, they be they, and a little distance would help. A little distance, a little detachment.
If it's just in another room.
Yes, exactly. So next, let's talk about
Gemini. Wow. Obviously Venus is coming to you first, that goddess of love, powering into Gemini on the 4th of July, which is excellent. All the fireworks will go off. You get the best seating and lighting when Venus is in your sign. All the sort of, fantastic camera angles. You're fabulous and photogenic with Venus with you. So we've got that, but to top it all, then Uranus comes in, which, unless you're over the age of 84, you won't have experienced. And perhaps those of you who might be over the age of 84 will be able to tell us how it felt. But for most of us, this is a new experience. Uranus into Gemini. You're getting 4 whole months of exhilaration, acceleration, and discard what you've been long waiting for this. You've been waiting in the wings, impatiently, really, because whilst people have been just like spinning their wheels in the Taurus sign, Uranus and Taurus, you can have it with you now, and you're just like, right, foot on the accelerator, let's go. So you're breaking free, you're doing it all. Things are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I think it's really fantastic for you, and a lot of Geminis, particularly those with the early birthdays on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, this is a fantastic shot of espresso, let's call it that. It's like, woo, and it's exciting. So we look forward to it.
How
So
are how are they handling the Mercury retrograde?
well, yeah, coming on to that. So, yeah, Mercury retrograde, which is your ruling planet, of course, from the 17th. So, yeah, I mean, we know that sometimes there are glitches and you're skittering about. But you know what? I actually think as a Gemini, you're so great at juggling. It's like pretty easy, isn't it, Gemini? You just turn your attention from this to this. I don't really think it's too much of an issue. I think it's fine. And the great news is that at the end of the month, on the 31st, the Sun and Mercury conjoin at the midpoint of the retrograde. That's a very special day. Ring it in your diary, because this is a time to get that epiphany, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and you don't have to try for it. That's the other thing. It's just
No,
going
it
to come.
just comes. It's a
It'll
download.
just come.
Yeah, yeah.
So your imagination is on fire this month. So allow yourself to, because you are going to feel like you just got let out of prison. I think. Right? It's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And Geminis can be scattered. So but in this case, it's going to be fun to watch. Like I used to love pinball machines. I used to love to play them. So I feel like Gemini is going to be that little ball that's going around and hitting all that and hitting all the right things. So, and also I'm not too concerned either. Because at the end of the month, it really is just the TikTok is in protection. It's more about slowing down and knowing that you have to slow down a little bit at the end of the month. It's not about anything that's going to be taken away or anything even that's like, it's more like now I need to just rest a little. So that's actually a perfect time to have a vacation.
Yeah, wouldn't it be good?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
a great month.
So Cancer, well, there's this feeling with Uranus and Venus going to be holed up in your 12th house. What is the 12th house? Well, it's your inner space. So you're going to be fully connected and rewired to spirit. And again, you don't have to do anything. You're just going to be with greater clarity on what has been happening with yourself, some strolls in nature, be still, and just, allow yourself this expanded perception. And also, you will just know that you've outgrown, because Cancer can be a very nostalgic sign and quite attached to the past and to memories that come up. You'll just be like, I'm not going to think about that anymore. It's done. So really quite an interesting time. So the full moon in your opposite sign of Capricorn on the 10th of July, of course, is all about relating. So maybe someone is coming forward, someone's going to be prominent in your life, but there's decisions here about what you're doing with someone. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be, but it can also be business. It can be anything that comes up where, suddenly you know what you're going to be doing with someone. And that's great, because that sort of ends confusion. You know where you are, but it can be romantic. Of course, it can be a time when someone tells you how they feel, which is a great thing. Moving into Leo season, well, of course, we've got the retrograde, we've got the new moon. And this is all about, the money angle of your chart. And I think just after this sort of new moon, and the moon and the sun are going to be opposite to Pluto, it's going to be very important for you to be wise about money. I mean, you are quite canny Cancer, but it could be that someone wants to have a finger in your pie. So just decide on that. And Venus moves into your sign, which is something to look forward to on the 31st. So August is going to be great.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Cancers have a really interesting card at the beginning of the month. It's a change in the wind. So it's a sense of it's happening anyway. I think that's the sense of it, is like, this is happening, like, as opposed to I need to make it happen. There is, because Cancer is a cardinal sign, so it wants to lead. And in this case, it's not, right? And it's okay. So it's actually interesting, because it's a sense of things. And I think you're right about the expanded perception, because we know that spirit's in the mix, or there's this real plug-in. Also, the inner world is changing anyway. And I think you'll have, if you are very self-aware, and if you've been doing a lot of self-actualization work, you'll be like, wow, this is cool. Look how far I've come. Wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like the past is like, bye-bye. Like, it's like, it's, and now Clean It Up is an interesting card too, because I think the actual decluttering of your home, as much as that we didn't talk about that in the second half of the month. It would be a really good way to organize. There's a need for organization within this deeper dive. And I don't know if
You're
we're
Mars in Virgo, so you do have to be on to everyone needs to get ordered this
ordered.
month.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So, but the other thing is too, at the end where we are dealing with going into Leo and then having the new moon, also at that point, there's a quality of generosity that's coming in too. Like, I'm going to make space for a new way of me being in the world that will serve others. So it's kind of
Mm.
this, like
Mm.
underlying motive that you didn't plan for. It just is.
And don't forget, you've got Jupiter Cancer. So
Yeah.
that is,
That's
this
why
wonderful potential.
I'm not worried with Jupiter and Cancer. I'm not worried about people putting their finger in a pie. I think it could be a good new business opportunity, and you might be
Yeah.
right. Watch, and when it comes to money, it's like negotiations. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah. Just be wise. Yeah,
just, yeah.
absolutely.
Next.
Okay, so Leo, well, Uranus is moving into the people angle of your chart, and you're really not going to be able to believe it, Leo. All these new introductions, these new faces, but of course, talking about making space, this is about slicing and dicing. Now, Uranus is kind of like, he doesn't hang around. He's just like, oh, no, no more of that. Now my attention is here. And kind of don't feel too guilty about that, Leo, because maybe, some things are way past their sell by date and maybe time has been wasted and you've been standing still a little bit. So actually, it's great. New people with fresh ideas, fresh perspective it's going to be fantastic for you. And, I really like it. There's going to be a lot of collaboration and connection. Now, keeping your feet on the ground is that full moon on the 10th. It's in your 6th house. This is about anchoring yourself. Capricorn, of course, is an earth sign. Mars is in an earth sign too. You need to stay steady, especially as, gird your loins, Mercury is going to go retrograde in your own sign on the 17th. Now, it is true, it is a cosmic truth that when, the retrograde happens in your own sign, it's, a bit stronger in its frequency, but that's fine. It's just like the universe is directly speaking to you guys. So, Leo, rethink. Don't just shrug it off if someone from the past gets back in touch. There's something here that you need to look at. And maybe this is going to be a revitalization of a connection, or a business project that you thought was never going to happen. Suddenly it does. So it could be really quite creative. Of course, Leo season is beginning. It's your opportunity to rise and shine. And we've got new moon in your sign. Yeah, Pluto's there. But, even if that is a bit crunchy, you are the lion, Leo. So don't forget, you are the king or queen of the jungle. And you know how to deal with those people. So everything is cool. Everything is great. And just embrace these new faces coming in. That's what I love for you.
Yeah, and with those new faces come milk and honey, right? So it's playful too. So and also we know that Leo is about, right? It's about creativity. There is a quality of playfulness that's different than the Gemini, but it's that sense of ooh. So that whatever is happening for Leos or people who have Leo rising or Leo moon, I think it's also focused. But there's going to be a genuine sense of celebration around these new things and new people.
Yeah.
Right? New people. Now, I like when you said slice and dice, because it's going to be, I think for everybody right now, there's a quality coming in that is a cooler feeling. I don't know how to put it, but it's less emotional about the why. You know how, like when right, Uranus in Gemini comes in, and I think it's such a big thing to talk about in July, because that's going to be that first indication of like, okay, I'm ready to, like, literally, this is it. Because when somebody comes back into your life during Mercury retrograde for Leo, it could also be the revitalization of yourself, because you're facing somebody that drains you, and you're like,
think I
right?
don't want that anymore. Not going back there.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's the end of that. And breathe is the beautiful other card. So
Mm.
it's about trusting, breathing, making sure actually that you do deeper breathing, because I think sometimes we can all get into shallow breathing. That's not good for us but it's really just really that no matter what during the Mercury retrograde, you can Leo really, you just have to relax into the change and relax into the rethink and not be like stressed about it, because it's actually nothing to stress over. It's like a different type of cleaning house. Just breathe your way through it. You'll be fine. Seriously, on the other end of Mercury retrograde, you're going to come out of that going like, wow, that was productive.
Yeah, really good, honestly. And it's an entirely natural process,
Yeah.
you know. So Virgo, well, Uranus is sailing over your midheaven, the very top spot in your chart, blazing a trail over there. So, well, this is the time to do something a bit different. It's very exciting. Now, obviously, Virgo, come on, let's face it, you're a bit of a planner, aren't you? So, I mean, Uranus is going to take you by surprise and give you the opportunity to take other people by surprise. And it's a bit like, you thought I was that. Well, actually, I can do this. I can do this other thing. So a swift pace, changes of direction around how you show up in the world, and what you want to manifest and materialize in the world, and what your gift to the world really is here with Uranus. And it's sort of like streaming out of you. So it's great. So yes, Mercury retrograde is probably great because it's just like a little bit of the brakes going on. It's sort of like you don't have to do everything in a couple of weeks. Phew. So you can just use that time. It's all happening in your 12th house. And there's that kind of weird thing with time where you're kind of going back to the future, and, clearing and processing a bit. Getting things in perspective, proportion is going to be very important. And in keeping with the Geminis, the 31st, when the Sun and Mercury get together, talk about getting a great idea. And again, not hard work at all. No scratching your head on that one.
Isn't it interesting too how what I'm hearing a theme through everybody is it's that we don't have to work hard for the epiphanies. It's just
No.
whatever, wherever we're at, like even,
Yeah.
Cancer, which was more of that, like internal, it's just there. So,
It is.
and you mentioned, about the Virgo deciding, well, what's the next thing, and exchanging gifts is the theme. So it's like, what do I want to do now? You're used to me this way. I'm used to me this way. I want to be this now. I've been thinking about it a long time, and I think I could be this. And it's
Yeah.
like, I love that. It's like, but the surprise, it's you surprise yourself too.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to be a Virgo in the next thing, just so you know. You're still going to be into the planning and whatever. You're not going to change into a Libra all of a sudden.
No.
Fork in the road is a decision during the Mercury retrograde. A fork in the road is about making a concrete decision. So, and I do think it relates to the new direction. And Virgo they like to have the plan and have the book the flight, book the trip. And at that time, and I think that it's going to be really, again, productive in a different way. It's more about commitment and going over it, because that's the other thing. Let's go over the details, make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So it's going to be great for Virgo.
Do your thing. You got Mars in your sign as well, which is great.
Yeah.
Very highly activated. So Libra, well, Uranus is moving into the 9th house area of your chart, which I love for you. This is all about having more meaning in your life, whether that's, because you're learning something that's meaningful to you, you're traveling, or there's this attraction to new things in new places. You're definitely not taking a walk down memory lane with this one. It's like opening up big picture, big horizons. Uranus is taking you somewhere different. Maybe, you're going somewhere different this summer. Maybe you're learning something different. But I mean, it's fantastic. It's like getting greater bandwidth. So I think that's really interesting. The full moon is all about your work-life balance. And yes, finishing up for summer on the 10th. So that's fine. You can say, my astrologer said that the summer break starts on the 10th. So I'm off. See ya. And then we've got Mercury retrograde. in the 11th house. And yeah, again, I'm saying it's okay to be a procrastinator. When do I ever say that, Libra? I'm always encouraging you not to be. But when Mercury is retrograde, you can weigh things up, you can change your mind, because believe me, other people will be doing that as well. Hang a bit loose if that's what you want. And especially around that little crunchy new moon on the 24th, 25th, people are being a bit demanding. Don't play. Just go, okay, I'm not going to get pulled into that. So Libra, you'll be fine.
Oh, I love that. So Libra has the best card so far. They got blessed and imagine. So first of all, know that I love that you said that as of the what is it, the full moon in Capricorn. You get to take off, right? But the taking off point is more about, and between now and post Mercury retrograde, like moving into even August, I really do get to dream, and I get
Yeah.
to, but I think for those of you who actually engage in art, I think this is a great time, no matter what sign you are, especially towards the end, to get into painting or drawing or doing something that enables you to step out of your overthinking, and into a more creative mindset. And that's going to be natural for Libra. Anything that relates to beauty and taking time, especially in the second half of the month, like going into Mercury retrograde, there's a blessing in there, and there's something amazing that you're going to come up with that doesn't need to come into form right away, but you're going to be like, I've got a secret, right? Like, you're going to be like, oh boy, I this is cool, and I don't have to rush. Even though you're going to feel like you should yourself, Libra, and don't the people pleasing. It has to go, especially during Mercury retrograde. If someone is demanding, say okay, and then wander off somewhere else. Just don't argue with anybody. It's not even worth it, and don't even defend yourself. Also, not worth it.
No, absolutely not. Well, Scorpio. So Uranus is moving into your 8th house, and you might be a bit relieved it's out of your 7th house, where, in Taurus there, it's been, a bit one thing after another in all kinds of relationships. Moving into your 8th house is where you share yourself emotionally, financially, and there are going to be new ways of doing things. And we're talking about investments. This is an investment of your heart, but it might also be an investment of funds. But, it's about learning to be vulnerable, really being able to share and open up. When were you last able to do that, Scorpio? Talking to myself. And it's Cancer season in the earlier part of the month. So this is great for travel, bigger picture stuff. The Mercury retrograde on your midheaven, good for reworking ideas. And there are powerful decisions here about your place in the world, because Leo for you is all about your engagement with the world, what it is you really want to give out to the world. And I think towards the end of the month, you're really going to think, because these planets, the sun and the new moon connected to Pluto, your ruling planet, it's about, this is the one thing I really want to do. This really matters to me. It's important. And it's going to be very empowering.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Scorpio also got blessed. I shuffled those cards really well. So there is a sense that everything that you've been going through, which like I get that sense of relentlessness in the, around how you relate to others, etc. It's not necessarily, it's not even necessarily romantic partners, but it's like people who even bug you. It's relational, right? This relational soup. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a sec, this stuff worked here. I don't have to think about the other stuff. And where do I feel in alignment? That's really important for Scorpios, where something is authentic, right? So the authenticity line is really going to be important for Scorpios to consider in the Cancer season. And then what's really cool, the Fates card is, in this case, is really about the destiny of the Scorpio, right? So there's fate and there's destiny. What are you going to make out of yourself right now, that you're this incredible oozing, gold that's coming out of you, that has been growing in you, etc., and it wants to have a form. And
Mm.
so it's really about what is my choice as I step into my destiny in my service to the world, but also in what brings me satisfaction
Mm.
and a sense of fulfillment at a deeper layer, not the surface.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got to
Gonna
be
be-
deep.
Yeah.
So Sagittarius, it's amazing, Venus and Uranus both moving into the relationship angle, which is Gemini ruled for you. It's electric. It's like the lights are all going on, things light up. Things are very obvious with Uranus. There's never any confusion about it. It's like, it's that person. Again, whether it's business or personal. So people are coming in, there might be some shake-ups as you shake off those things that are not right, they're not. There might be, one of those kind of situations where if you're in a partnership, that person wants to do something different and they surprise you, and that's quite rejuvenating. I mean, the partnership itself will be entering a new cycle. So it's about being open to that. And it's really going to be quite a hot summer from that point of view. So the full moon on the 10th of the month, security. Don't forget about that, Sagittarius. It's not all about risk taking. It's about, just trying to anchor yourself into what makes you feel stable and secure. And the Leo season, of course, your fellow fire sign, things are opening up for you. This is all about, the sun and the new moon and the Mercury retrograde in your Sagittarius house. The ninth house is the place of exploration. So it is a wonderful time to explore. And don't worry about the Mercury retrograde. It doesn't matter, whether plans switch around a little bit. No biggie. So absolutely great.
Yeah. This is an interesting read. So I pulled 3 cards accidentally. So I always say there's no accident
Yeah.
for Sagittarius. And I don't know who's going to need to hear this, but if during this time, was one of the things Sagittarius does not like to be held back by anyone else's claw, right?
Mm.
Since it's Cancer season, right? So it's like, who has been holding me back? Who has been grasping at me? And maybe, or what has been, right? So you might want to amend it or make amends, and it might not work. Let it go, right?
Mm.
You will be able to discern whether it's worth it for you or not. So this is about clearing out so that you can explore, because you don't want to carry somebody else's bags with you on your trip in your exploration of life. Don't have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you count your bags that you're not carrying somebody else's too. I think that's going to be something that is going to be important. That could be an epiphany that happens for you this month. And then it's great. It feels like towards the end of the month, it's like, okay, I've got no power. I have no power over here, but I do over here. So I'm just going to focus here. And the one thing, again, this thread is recognizing where we're powerless and being able to put your attention on what you can do. That's going to be
Yeah.
important.
Brilliant. So Capricorn, well, of course, it's your full moon this month on the 10th. But before we get there, Uranus is fizzing in the zone of your chart to do with, how you live your life. So it's a bit like if you've been feeling a bit flat with the still water, suddenly you're going to become sparkling water, okay? More bubbles, more effervescent. So a bit of a fast upgrade here. Now, you might want to be embracing that actively. There might be, for instance, new gadgets, new tech that comes in. Uranus is very much aligned with that kind of thing. Or in your sort of everyday life, you might be freeing up time and, just cutting off those things that are a waste of time. So I do love the Capricorn full moon. Time to tell someone how you feel, Capricorn, and to recognize for yourself how you feel. The Leo energies, well, the new moon here is about shared resources. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of negotiating going on this month. Don't be in a rush to finalize everything because Mercury is retrograde. So there might be a bit of back and forth, and you might be just thinking about, oh, well, I could put myself further into this and step out of that. But, it's a great time to be thinking. You don't have to necessarily do it. And especially around the 24th, 25th, because the Pluto effect, you could feel, someone's just being so pushy about that. So you're not a pushover, Capricorn, are you? So is it the right thing for you? That's what you need to find out for yourself.
Oh, I love that. The cards really reflect that too. The first is yin, which is about being receptive and not
Mhm.
yourself being pushy. And the other one is not needing balance, it's choosing the balance, right? There's a difference between I need balance in my life and you're not going to upset my apple cart, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm going to keep my own balance here. Thank you. And I think with the Uranus going into Gemini, you're going to have that epiphany of, oh, I know how I have to do this. And it may not be what other people want. So that's the other thing. You have to put yourself first, Capricorn, this month of making your decision around what works for you. And then actually it's beneficial for everybody. They may not think they want it, but it's actually good for them too.
Yeah, totally. So Aquarius, well, when Uranus moves into Gemini, your fellow air sign, this is just so fantastic because don't forget, you've now got Pluto with you. So these big power players, Uranus and Pluto, are in the air sign. Absolutely fantastic for you. So things are going to take off, which we love. And Uranus is moving into your fifth house, the most expressive and creative angle of your chart. It's very playful. This is about enjoying being you. Instead, if you've ever felt, you're like, oh, it's quite hard being the outsider, being the one that sees things before anyone else, you're just going to have so much fun because you'll find that more people are on your wavelength. It's like, the world is ready now for what you've got to offer. The full moon in Capricorn just on the 10th, a little time to just maybe say less, do less, go within just for those couple of days. And then, of course, Leo season brings all the energy to relationships. And Mercury retrograde, not a time to shoot your mouth off with that, but wait and see. It's just like nod your head what's coming to you from other people as well, but don't necessarily agree. Just wait and see. The new moon will be really interesting for you because Pluto's in your sign. The new moon is opposite the Pluto in your sign. It was all about who has the power. Now, that's quite fun, isn't it? I mean, but really it boils down to what do you want, Aquarius? I don't get stuck up in what someone else wants.
You know what I love too? So Loyal Heart is a really interesting card when I add it to what you said for the Aquarius personality, because there, like you said, there's a quality of being misunderstood or like being further ahead all the time and being that future thinker. And then all of a sudden now you're starting to meet people on your own wavelength, and that's really good. But there does tend to be, there's a little bit of a tiny bit of a warning in here is not to be don't make assumptions that, like, especially definitely to around the full moon, be in that observer mode, learn, like be aware and watch other people, because don't make the assumption that everybody's going to want to hear everything you have to say, because you could actually get yourself in a bit of trouble later on when you haven't really understood. Because it like you might have opinions on something that's very transient and it won't mean anything. And then you might have actually committed to an idea or opinion.
With the Mercury retrograde opposing you. Yeah.
Not a good time to tell people what your opinion is then. But that's okay, because I think the thing is too, is that once Aquarius makes an opinion, they hold fast to it. It's that rigidity quality, right? But that's okay. Like just remember, you are stepping into an area of your life and a time of your life where you're going to find way more people who are in alignment with you, and you're going to feel like, wow, they get it. Well, I've always thought this, right? And that's going to be really something to celebrate. So just don't overkill it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Pisces, well, Uranus, as it moves into Gemini, is moving into the most personal zone of your chart, which is fantastic for breaking free from past conditioning. And no matter how much work we might have done on ourselves, there's always that opportunity, I think, with something like this to really get it. It's like, oh, that's where that comes from. And just really, because it's Uranus, you just don't need it anymore. You're not doing that. You're not thinking that. You're in this, for instance, if it's self-sabotage or tall poppy syndrome, I'm not going to put my head up there in case I get shot down. And, that sort of energy is just leaving you. It's sort of like, what was all that about? Don't need to do that. It's like past history for you. So an opportunity for you to really reinvent yourself, and also with home and family life, kind of move it along a little bit, which is great. Sort of let people go. And maybe there will be some exciting family news on its way for you, for instance. The full moon is really quite nice for you in the 11th house. It's, I think, a time of gatherings and get-togethers, maybe some celebrations. And the Mercury retrograde in your zone of mind, body, spirit, well, yeah, we always think at that time, fantastic to just book in for the dental checkup or any kind of MOT you need to do. It's all in the details when things are in the 6th house. So it's about how do you use your hours in the day and how do you want to use your hours in the day, Pisces. So tweaking little things so that you get your summer right. So I think, what sign is Doggy?
She is a Leo, 24th of July.
My dog is a Leo as well.
And my other one's born on my birthday.
Oh, even better. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So Pisces, there we have it for you. Things changing, there's celebrations, but a little bit of due diligence just to make sure everything's in good working order.
Yeah, I like that because it appears, so a change in the wind, which makes sense because it's changing for you, is in the protection position, which means if it hurts, go to the doctor. Not to say that we're predicting anything for all Pisces people. It's more about taking care of things. Like, so if you haven't been to the dentist, get a teeth cleaning. If you haven't, if you haven't picked up your mail, right? Like just the things that you need to do that have piled up in some way, just get them done this month.
Act like a Virgo.
Yeah, it's like pretend you're a Virgo just for a while. What's really great is that I love this sense of I'm not sabotaging myself anymore. I'm just not tolerating these things anymore. And I think you're going to have a kind of a little chuckle about it. Like, what was that? Why did I do that to myself? Oh, well, and then it's more like, oh, now I can plan how I can do better for myself and others, etc. And it's really not hard work. It's more organic. Like, and I think that's for every single sign. These changes are quite organic. These are not like you have to do these things. These are the kind of epiphanies everyone is going to have for their own sign, for their own themes that this month. And I think then we just follow through and I think this is for Pisces very specifically, is anything that you feel intuitively that doesn't look like it's in alignment, it's not. So don't second guess it. Oh, but it's so pretty and sparkly because you got all that glitters, right? You got all the glitters card. No, if it's too good to be true, it is.
Probably is.
You could pick something else. Debbie, again, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Debbie Frank, don't forget Debbie Frank, astrology.com. Is that correct?
No, DebbieFrank.com.
Just DebbieFrank.com.
That's it for my website. Yes.
So DebbieFrank.com. Oh, no, that's your email. DebbieFrank.com. You guys, seriously, she's just opened up her calendar. I just want to reiterate again. I highly recommend Debbie to do an astrology session for you. She's very, very good. She really gives you good advice and tells you stuff that is very straightforward, which I like about her. So, and gives us the opportunity to find some hope in the crazy, chaotic madness that is our world.
Isn't it just? So, happy regardless.
That's right. I'll see you in August, Debbie.
Absolutely.
Bye.